Good evening. It's Cindy Morris with the Peoria Public Schools Foundation. Welcome to our Buzz Chats, positive conversations tied to our Peoria Public Schools and those that partner and are connected to our school district. So it's been a while since we've been on the show, but tonight we're very pleased to have Mrs. Emily Cahill from the Peoria Park District. And we will start off by Emily, welcome.
Thank you, Cindy. Thanks so much for having me.
And if you'd like to give everyone a little bit of your background.
Sure. So I have been in the Peoria area now for about 20 years. I started out, I worked with the Center for Prevention of Abuse, joined the Junior League, worked my way through all of the different volunteer opportunities that exist in Peoria. I have been with the Park District now for, oh goodness, this will be my 9th year here coming up in just a couple of weeks. And I have been the executive director now for 4.5 years.
Great. Yeah, I think I do remember you. I was in the Junior League, and I think you were like the super volunteer.
I don't know about that.
Were you the president?
I was in 2007, okay. 2008. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. Great organization.
It really is. It's one of those that you get out of it what you give to it. But it's a great opportunity when I came here and didn't know anybody to meet lots of folks and to really get connected in the community. And I will forever be grateful for those experiences for sure.
Right. Well, we'll pop right into, for many people who I kind of start every show with just giving a teeny backdrop into what the Peoria Public Schools Foundation does, in case this is your first show. But we exist, we're a nonprofit. We exist exclusively to support Peoria Public Schools. And we do that in the traditional ways with classroom grants and scholarships for students, mostly going into high school. But we're doing so much more than that. We support the school district with a lot of basic need support, food insecurity, clothing and uniform support, and emergency funding. And then we into some programming. We oversee the Adaptive School Program, and then our Horizons, which is a career and college readiness program. So those are just some of the ways that we support the school district. And I think another part that we do at the Peoria Public Schools Foundation really well is connecting our community to our school district and working closely with the Board of Education and the superintendent. We work so hard to connect, people that are passionate about our Peoria Public Schools and ways that they can help and support our school district. And, your entity, the Park District, works closely in many ways with the school district. And that's something that maybe we could start off, it wasn't on our agenda, but some people don't know exactly what the relationship is with the Park District and the school district. And we are very closely linked and tied. So maybe just in a nutshell, tell the viewers how that works.
Sure. So I would say to you that we serve the same families in a lot of cases. So our Park District is actually a little bit bigger than the city of Peoria, but smaller than the county. We have about 9,000 acres of green space that we maintain and more than 50 miles of trails. Most of the playgrounds that you find in our community belong to the Park District if they're not on a school district lot. And we do a lot of programming, introducing people to sports. We do a lot of recreation. Our elite programming is something that we actually collaborate significantly with the school district on to try to support kids and get them ready to join the workforce. Our district staff are a part of several after-school programs in Peoria Public Schools buildings. We do a lot of sports recreation. We teach people how to play golf as part of PE classes. There's a lot of interactivity because we know that the more active kids and families are, the healthier they are. And generally that in turn cycles back around and makes kids more successful in the classroom. So we are invested in the same families for a lot of the same reasons. We want those people that we serve to be healthy and well and vibrant. And I think that we do that from different perspectives sometimes, but our goals are very much aligned with our focus on serving the community that we're a part of.
Right. And, in the community, I would say some of the things that are family members are probably most used to with the Park District would be probably, for example, Forest Park Nature Center. That's a big one, right?
That's a huge one. Yeah.
That's a huge one. And very popular. You know, it's a destination. People love being there. It's a beautiful park.
Sure.
The other one I would say is the Rock Island Trail.
Yep. So those are both really critical pieces that have been a part of our COVID response, especially. We've seen so many new visitors on our trails and in our parks when people were kind of forced to go outside and we were the only game in town. A lot of people don't realize that things like Peoria Zoo, the Peoria Playhouse Children's Museum, even Owens Ice Center, Riverplex are all a part of the Park District as well. Proctor Recreation Center is a part of the Park District. So that open space and trail piece is huge, but so too are some of the facilities that we're able to bring to the community that might not otherwise exist if our Park District didn't offer those supports.
You know, I was with the superintendent this week on a few different occasions, and one was to go down. We were going to the wraparound center at Treeman, and the some of the students that are at the wraparound center were at the Treewind Park facility.
Yep.
I'm from Peoria. I grew up in Peoria. Never been there, and it was wow. I mean, it's a beautiful facility and park, and I was like, really? Where's this coming from? I mean, do you know any background on that park? It's just incredible.
So it is the southernmost park in our system right now. That Treewind Pavilion, actually in the lower level, we host an early Head Start program. We have a grandparents program that's in the main level. Right now, we are working with Carl Cannon's program to provide supports through that wraparound center in that upper level of the Treewind Pavilion. We've got a great playground, some basketball courts. There's a small splash pad there, but it's great support to that part of the neighborhood. Our goal is to make sure that everybody has access to green space within walking distance from their homes. And Treewind certainly fits a need in our community, and it's a very well-loved park and well-used, and we are so pleased to be able to offer that amenity in the southern part of our district.
Yeah, that's great. So this is a question we ask a lot of people, and this is definitely in relation to our pandemic and
Yep.
what is your organization's pivot in 2020 since the COVID hit?
Okay, wow, that's a really interesting one for us. So basically, I said this, I don't know how many times in a public conversation, but if you think about park districts, our job is to bring groups of people together to have fun. Well, in the COVID, that doesn't work so well, right? And so we have really had to think about improving our technology, thinking about doing things like this, right? Talking with people and connecting with them virtually. We spend a lot of time, I think, undervaluing parks and trails. And it's really, really important that everybody understands the value of those. And so we have re-looked at how we prioritize, and we're spending a lot of time promoting parks and trails to people as that amenity that's available no matter what. But we are taking this opportunity to look at our programming inventory to try to make sure that what we are providing is the best complement to everything else that's going on in our community. When we were forced to close some of our facilities, we put our recreation staff out into our parks. So they were on mowers, they were picking up trash, they were doing all that work to try to keep our expenses down. But what that did was provided this really fantastic opportunity where we learned about each other as a team. And so our pivot has really been to think about the park district not as parks and recreation, but as the park district, really being one organization serving each other. And so when we come back, we look forward to coming back to those normal crazy levels of programming. But when we do that, we're going to do it in a different way. And we're going to collaborate internally in a way that I think is going to make our programming, I hope, more robust and valuable to our community.
Yeah. And what would you say with your organization, was there one part of your programming or your facilities that were impacted the hardest? I think I know the answer to this one, but.
Well, yeah, and so it is the one actually that is how I connected first with the park district. So when I joined the Junior League, as we talked about at the very beginning, one of my very first placements was to be a part of the team that built the Peoria Playhouse Children's Museum. And so that is a thing that was how I first connected with the Park District too, and got to know Bonnie Noble and the staff in the district was through that project as a volunteer. And that facility closed on March 15th, and it is still not open to our community. And it is something that it hurts my heart to see that building empty and to not hear all those kids running in through there screaming and yelling and having a blast. But that program is also one that I'm really, really proud of the work that Rebecca Schulman, the director there, has done to take that program virtual, to reach kids where they are, to help them be explorers and creators of the world wherever they are, and to let people think that about and really be mindful of the fact that they can experience the Playhouse anywhere. But that building remains closed. I don't know that we see the path for when that can reopen. It really will take all the way to that phase 5 that the governor talks about with a vaccine before that building can reopen. So that is one that we had to lay off most of the staff and reposition other people, and it has been very, very difficult. Everything else has kind of come back at some level, even if it's what we call dimly lit, just kind of there. But that Playhouse has been one that facility has to remain closed, but we are trying everything that we can to still provide those experiences. Our kids haven't stopped growing, right? I see that with my own kids, the things they're missing, those milestones, we want to make sure that if we can be a part of those as the Playhouse and the Park District, that we're still doing that, even if we're doing it in a different way than we did before.
Well, and Rebecca has done a great job, because the whole point of the museum is hands-on, and whenever, it had to shut down, and it's sad, but I know there's so many people in the community that are invested in the Children's Museum, and I think that the Playhouse, and I think that once we do get back to that, hopefully they'll step up and we make sure that we kind of reopen it at the capacity it was. And
I sure hope so. We're very grateful for collaborations with groups like Art Inc. that are helping us do what we call Kidtastic kits. So you've all seen those like subscription services, right? Well, we have a Playhouse subscription service where you can register, and then you have a kit of fun that comes to your house with some activities that's very affordable. We have actually the Real Tools. We moved the Real Tools exhibit over to our Noble Center, which is where I work in Lakeview Park. And so for small numbers of kids, we can do that safely. And so that's something that we're trying to do. But yeah, we look forward to the day that building is filled with energy like it was before COVID, for sure.
Right. So what are the ways that you help and support families and students in PPS? And in particular, I'd like you to talk about going into fall now.
Okay.
Thoughts? Are there any conversations with the school district or about collaborations with, even though we're gradually, students are reentering schools in the classrooms, there still is a lot of the virtual world. And so if you'd want to talk on that.
Sure. So there's a couple of ways that we are generally, there's a lot of connectivity between the Park District and the school district. So some of the ways that we're doing that now in these challenging times include things like we still have our after-school program that we run at Proctor. So there's a lot of connectivity back and forth there. We are still helping with some of those 21st century grants that tie to after-school programming at Treewind, Lincoln, and Harrison. So our instructors are going into those locations to help support those kids. You mentioned the Treewind Pavilion. And so we are working with some at-risk kids in the school district and helping them get through their virtual lessons every day. And that just actually started this week. After we targeted kids who struggled in that first 9 weeks, we're now working with them on a daily basis to help them be more successful. We always collaborate with great folks like AJ Guyton to try to make sure that our sports programs are tied together and that we offer as many opportunities for kids to get active as possible. We look forward to those days when things like the Horizons Club are back online. I know that every year those kids come to Lakeview Park and they go ice and they learn about some of the careers in the Park District. This spring, we hope to be able to host some interns from Peoria Public Schools. We do that every year. We also use our zoo and our other facilities that are revenue generator, like admissions kind of facilities. So any place where you come, just to visit, we offer opportunities where people can bring food to help support the Little Free Pantry at Glen Oak School. And so that's the way that people can bring those to those locations when they come to visit the zoo or they come to Noble to register for a class. If they bring their food donations, then we make sure that the Glen Oak School Pantry is filled as well. So there's lots of ways that we do support each other. And we look forward to having more of those. That's one of the hard things is when kids are not in that normal day schedule, right? Some of those things go away, like having our golf pros come to a PE class and teach kids how to swing a golf club. That's much harder to do in a virtual world. But a lot of those after school programs are still happening and very robust. And certainly we look forward to expanding on those when we have the opportunity. We're really excited to have some interns this spring. One of the things that we're going to do, I hope, is add an IT intern this spring, and that would be new to us. So we look forward to those opportunities to continue to work together.
Yes, and thank you so much for your support of our Little Free Pantries.
We love the Little Free Pantry. That's such a great idea.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I know you've been a great partner with our Horizons Club too, so thank you so much for that.
Our folks look forward to that every year. They're like, is this when the kids come? They love seeing all those middle schoolers skating at Owens. And for many of them, that's the first time they've ever skated. And those kids have so much fun getting on those skates and trying that out. And it is hard.
Yeah.
That is a hard thing to do. I can't do it. I never let go of the wall. So I'm so proud of those kids who are like, I'm out, man, I'm doing it. And they go out in the middle. I think that's such a cool experience for them.
It is. And I always it just blows me away too, because like you said, many of those kids, I'll say, have you ice skated before? And they say no, and then they just whiz out there.
And then they just go. I know.
Like, wow.
That's so brave, right? I feel like me holding onto the wall is like my story in life, right? The wall is a different thing in different situations. And those kids who just go out to the middle and don't hold on to anything, I'm so proud of them. I think that's amazing.
It's something that just kind of came to my mind, and we're constantly trying to send out positive vibes out on our social media and with our students and families. And we're getting ready to launch a contest in December. But I'd love to partner with the Park District in maybe January or February with some kind of collaborative contest. And maybe it's related to some kind of, exercise that,
I'd love that.
Yeah, so we'll have to talk further on that.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
We had the opportunity to give like passes to the zoo and things like that when kids turn their homework in on time during these virtual days. So to tie something to like regular exercise or something like that, bring it on, man. We'd love to be a part of that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So we'll have to talk further on that.
Let's do it.
I'll get
All the people who are watching heard us say that, so now we're stuck. We're going to have to do it. I think that's perfect. Yay.
No, I love it. And Trish O'Shaughnessy's on, so we'll get her involved too.
Okay, very cool. Awesome, Trish.
She said hi. So I usually pull in one personal question, and it has to be just to share with people, what's your thing? Your thing, like, do you read books? Do you watch movies? Is there any shows right now? What have you?
So I am a podcast listener. So I actually live in Goodfield. So every day, like home and back is like, I know this exactly. It's like 27 minutes now that the bridge is reopened. Thank goodness. Right. Yeah. So I can get a podcast done generally in a couple of days, depending on who it is. And so that's something that I have really learned to enjoy, and listening to people talk versus listening to music makes the time kind of go faster for me. So I love engaging, and I miss the news a lot, right? By the time I get home, and I'm sure you're the same way, like I miss the news. And so podcasts are something that I've learned to really love. I'm also embarrassed to tell you that I am just now, like I might be the last person on the planet. I just started like 2 days ago watching Game of Thrones. I know I could be the last person in the world who hasn't seen that.
I haven't seen it either.
Okay, so we should try, because my husband is, there's like 60 episodes, right? And I was like, well, I'm on 8, so I'm like almost there. And he's like, whatever, you're going to get tired, but I'm in. I'm committed. So I need like an accountability partner or something to get to the end, so I know what all these jokes are that people keep telling.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like TV a lot. I will share this and then I'll move on. But this one, so I am a Grey's Anatomy person. And I started watching, I don't know, this is like season 19, maybe. I don't know. It's like been on forever, right? And so my 15-year-old daughter, she just left before we started this podcast to go watch the season premiere with her friends. And I'm pretty sure that she started before she was even alive. So I think it's so sweet that she's like caught up with the whole series and knows all the people and loves all the people that I love. And so that's been kind of fun. But really, those might be the only shows I ever watch. It makes it sound like I'm a TV addict, but there's like 3 things that I ever have time for. But those are them. So yeah.
Great. Grey's Anatomy's great. Great writing, isn't it?
It is.
Is it Sharonda or Shalonda Rhimes?
Yeah, Shonda Rhimes. She's good stuff. Yeah.
She does have great stuff. My show, and I haven't followed it as much lately. I'm a huge Chicago PD.
Oh yeah.
Mother got me started on it. She used to watch. I think it started with Chicago Fire, and then PD. And
there's like, isn't there a whole night now that's just Chicago?
Yeah,
which is kind of fun, right? If you go to Chicago, you probably recognize some of the scenes from the show or something. Don't they film it there?
Yeah, but I love. It's the same writer of the SVU. So
okay.
Yeah, and I think he's a writer as well.
Me too. That's really fun.
Yeah,
that's really fun. Cool. So I actually went to law school. So a lot of those like the police law things, they're not as fun for me. Like I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's right. You know, and I don't know anything about med stuff. So the medical things still kind of make me fun. They're fun for me to watch. But yeah, I totally get it. The Chicago ones are really fun.
Yeah, they are. I think it's because it's close by. So
I think so too. Yeah, that's really fun.
So, and we'll, so the one question that's not on there either I wanted to bring up was, so, you know, I mean, we are going to the holidays and, you know, I know that your foundation does, I wanted you to talk briefly, because I think it'd be a great holiday gift. I know you're doing the bracelets.
Yep.
And, you know, this is ways that, that the audience could support you and also give someone a nice gift. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to get 1 or 2.
Oh, they're beautiful. So they're green and yellow. Yeah, they're green and yellow. They're called bracelets. They're through a collaboration with Bremer Jewelry. They're $40, but I mean, it literally, I think it goes with almost every outfit, or at least I tell myself that it does, and I wear it almost every day. But they really, we actually have a couple of men in our office who bought them too. I mean, it is sort of, it meets anybody's needs, but that's a great Christmas gift. We also talk a lot about it, the holidays, about memberships to facilities as that gift of an experience. I don't know about you, but so many, like, I know my kids don't need one more thing, right? We're going to have to move out of our house if we get more stuff. And so to give people that experience of being able to go to the zoo anytime they want, or, you know, you referenced Forest Park Nature Center. A membership to Forest Park Nature Center is $30 a year. And you can access programming and you get special member newsletters that come several times a year to your home. And so that's a really affordable way to give people an experience, but also then to support those amenities so that they're available to others. So we do look at, we have a lot of really fun kinds of things that are fun to share for Christmas. Right now, if you buy a zoo membership, we have different stuffed animals that you can pick from. There's a rhino or a takin that you can get as part of that membership purchase so that you can give that stuffed animal to the family member or friend that you're buying the membership for. So lots of different ways to support the Park District. We're trying to be more user-friendly for some of those experiences. So all of those memberships are available, and the bracelets too are available for purchase online, which is very COVID-friendly. And so we either then work to mail things to you or email them to you, or we even have like curbside pickup in certain situations. But we try to keep everybody safe, and we want to make those opportunities available because you're right, those are really cool gifts. And even if, so let's just say even if something happens and we have to close a facility or limit access, we're extending memberships out. So if we're closed for a certain number of weeks, we extend that out to your year so you don't lose anything. And so it is a gift that continues to give for a long time, we hope.
Yeah, and Peoria is, we are so lucky to have such a strong park district, and the zoo and the Peoria Playhouse are world class. So
thank you.
It is, and then you know, the trail and the forest park and parks. I mean, this is a great way going into the holidays for our community to support you. So
thank you. That's really nice. We learned.
They go to your website to get information on that, or how to.
Yep. So PeoriaParks.org is a great place to get all of that information. We learned actually quickly just a couple of years ago that our park district, if you've been here your whole life, you think that communities of this size have a park district like this, we are very, very unique, and I hope that people understand just the absolute asset that they have available to them here. Those statistics I gave you about 9,000 acres, 50 miles of trails, the number of golf courses we have, things like that, that's comparable to park districts in cities like Miami and Tampa, Alexandria, Virginia, Charleston, South Carolina, San Diego, California. So big cities have the kinds of public resources that we do. So we really need to consider that, be proud of it, and access it, because it's an amenity that most people don't get to enjoy in their own backyards.
No, you're right. We're very, very fortunate. And I've been talking about on these buzz chats that when COVID hit, I got a bike, and I've fallen in love all over again with the trail, and I love it so much. And there's just something about being outside, and it's just a wonderful trail. So.
I agree. It does so much for your physical, mental health. It's amazing. Yeah. Everybody should get out there more, even in the cold. We were just talking about that the other day, that even as cold weather is coming, put on a hat and some gloves, man. You can still get outside and enjoy that sunshine, and it makes makes your heart beat a little faster, but that cold weather is good for you. So don't stay inside and think you can't get outside if it's chilly.
Right, exactly. So we'll end the show on your outlook for 2021 with the Park District.
So we have worked really hard in 2020 to be really, we controlled our expenses to the point that we will not touch our reserves at the end of 2020. So we're very proud of that. What that means is that 2021 is, to borrow a word from Dr. Surratt, is about reimagination and reinvention. So we look forward to building back some of those staff that we were forced to lay off in 2020 in new ways. We look forward to building back programming in new ways to be responsive to the changing wants and needs of our community. But 21 is really about reimagining and figuring out what the Park District needs to be to best serve our community. So we look forward to that, and we can't wait to see what happens.
Well, and I look forward to, at the foundation, we look forward to some kind of collaboration with you.
Yes, that'd be so cool.
Exercise related with our students. I love
Let's do it.
So
if we were really good, we'd do it with ourselves too, but maybe we should just start with the kids and see how they do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining tonight. It's been a pleasure. And
it was so fun.
Yeah. So you have a great evening, and we'll be in touch soon.
That's awesome. Thanks, Cindy, so much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight.